Part 1. July. Chapter 1. Every weekday morning, as the sun rose above 6th Avenue, a peerless crop of women, frames poised, behavior polished, networks connected, and bodies generally buffed to a high sheen, were herded by the cattle prod of their own ambition to one particular building. They streamed as if by magic from all over Manhattan and Brooklyn, through streets and subways teeming with sweaty crowds and heavy traffic, to work at Cooper House, the only remaining major magazine publisher in New York. Some, like Bess Bonner, a 28-year-old associate editor at Rage Fashion Book, arrived earlier than others, though her colleagues frequently staggered in around noon after long nights spent drinking fistfuls of sponsored celebrity vodka in yet another chartered barge or pop-up school bus. Never Bess, who took pride in being punctual. Monday through Friday, she stuck to the same routine. First, she walked her bike, a large Dutch commuter, through the West Village streets to pick up her coffee at Joe. Second, she stood on the sidewalk and drank half the cup, no matter the weather. Finally, she took diligent mental notes on the outfits of pedestrians who were, like her, freshly pressed to meet the promise of the day. One Monday in July, in attire that was stylish but functional, trousers clipped back with midnight blue leather bands, her buttery navy kid leather backpack stuffed in an orange milk crate affixed firmly to the back with neon cable ties, and a waterproof oilcloth bag that held an emergency poncho tucked beneath her seat. Bess drank her coffee, took her notes, and hopped on her bike, pedaling toward Cooper. After a few minutes of glorious, uninterrupted speed through Chelsea, a rush of adrenaline kicked in, and she smiled. That final mile of her morning commute both boosted her mood and set the tone for the long day ahead, working at the magazine she'd worshipped her entire life. Today, that work meant sorting bracelets into velvet trays. She hung a left on 39th Street, crossed Broadway, and pulled smoothly into the Cooper garage. Gina, the usual attendant, took her bicycle and wheeled it into the rectangle of her personal parking spot, a privilege for full-time employees, as Bess took off her helmet and shook out her tangled mess of dark blonde curls. Shouldering her backpack, she walked up to the aluminum post outside the service elevator and waved her phone in front of it. A large blinking F appeared briefly on a previously invisible screen. 10 seconds later, the F disappeared, and the post became a mere metal column once more. Bess walked into the elevator and examined herself in its mirrored walls. Not too bad, she thought, looking down at her electric blue Pappagallo flats for rips, tears, or smudges, smoothing her ankle-length silk tuxedo trousers, and tucking her deliberately threadbare men's white V-neck into the side of the waistband. Her jewelry today was simple and bright. A stack of rose-gold pyramid stud bracelets from Hermes covered one wrist, and a pair of dangling yellow gold earrings from the Egyptian section of the gift shop at the Met, purchased long ago with her 5th-grade allowance, hung casually from her ears. When the elevator stopped on the 46th floor, Bess walked into the main entrance of Rage's offices. The reception area still gave her a thrill every time she entered. Rage's front lobby walls were made of a creamy white marble, shot through with jagged bolts of mint and lavender, seamlessly paneled between a polished black concrete ceiling and floor. Rage Fashion Book was etched in 3-foot platinum-leafed letters across the wall opposite the elevator bank. The front desk was a sculpture by the architect Maya Lin, made of stacked gradient discs of a now-extinct ash tree suspended on 4 thin wires. There was a silver rotary telephone in place of a receptionist, as Margot Villiers, Rage's editor-in-chief, had decided long ago that the first face of Rage should never, ever be a person. Just this empty, Lynchian room with a single telephone, through which you could dial a 2-digit extension for any of the 75 women in the office. There were no obvious doors save for the elevators. Bess crossed the floor and waved her phone again, this time in front of a brass plate set into the far left corner of the black wall.